broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Say it's my fault. Really, Cortez?
That's what Chrisette said. That's what she said. Blame it on me. I'm leaving y'all. I'm going to Brooklyn. Bye.
Okay, this is, thank you guys. Thank you, AfterBuzzers, for watching.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. If you're listening on iTunes, thank you so much. And Maria Menounos, thank you for AfterBuzz TV.
Maria Mahu?
Menounos. Did I not say it right?
Maria Menounos. What?
Menounos, I said it right.
Maria Menounos. What?
I'm not fooling with you. So all the people who watched on YouTube and had positive things to say, thank you so much. We appreciate your comments.
I mean, whether it was positive or negative,
Positive
thank
or
you.
negative,
Like,
yes,
seriously.
no. I mean, yeah, but sometimes the negative can be really good. And I am your girl, Madison Chase, your trainer to the stars and the star in you, and a voice of virginity. And you can check me out on Twitter at Madison Chase Fit. And YouTube.
Oh, you doing that already?
At One Mad Chase, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't we do that in the week? Cortez,
No, we don't.
you messing it up. Alexis, and we forgot to say thank you to Alexis, because Alexis is our dope engineer, and one day she is going to have her own class for engineers just like her, and she is at A Torres, Torres 890. Go ahead, and you are in a bad. We need to get you some more chicken with some no spices on it, Cortez.
I'm the co-host, so you're going to do me last.
I'm sorry.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
I love you, Cortez.
It's another sit down at AfterBuzz TV R&B Live. I'm your host, Cortez G. West. Why I keep saying R&B Live?
This is R&B
You know what happened?
Divas
Let me tell you guys what happened. Let me tell you guys what happened. I used to go to this show every Wednesdays here in LA called R&B Lives, and they would always showcase like an artist or whatever. So I'm used to hosting that and saying that. So now that the show is called R&B Divas, it's kind of like it's a mental thing. I have to get to that, okay?
Let's say it 3 times.
R&B Divas LA.
One more time.
R&B Divas LA.
Hey. R&B Divas LA. R&B Divas LA.
Yeah, welcome to another sit down at R&B
Divas LA.
I'm your host, Cortez G. West. You may remember me also from Black Hollywood Live and AfterBuzz TV with a whole lot of different shows as well. So welcome back.
And we have someone sitting in our studio audience, kind of not really. She's Chanel. I don't know Chanel's last name. What's your last name? Capra. Yeah, she does an after show with Miss Stacey Francis of R&B Divas LA. So we're going to have to get them both on here for sure. So let's get into the show.
Let's go.
Yes. So first scene, Crave, Leela, Little Mo, Stacey. They recap Michelle's party. And Michelle...
No, Stacey recaps.
Well, Stacey, no, I'm saying Stacey recaps Michelle's party and what happened. And Little Mo said, this is one of my favorite lines. She was like, the people in LA are like the weather in LA. Like, you never know what you don't get. That's why you always got to take a coat or a jacket of some sort, because sometimes it gets a little chilly.
I get that.
You
and
get
she's
that.
right.
And she's right, right?
Yeah, she's right. Yeah. Totally right about California.
Yeah. But you know what it is? And I had this conversation with Chanel. I was like, I don't think it's the people that are in LA, from LA. It's the people that move here, and they think that there's a certain kind of way you have to act to be LA, and you lose your mind. And that's what happens when people move here thinking that there's a certain kind of way, this facade, this shade, instead of really being who they authentically are.
I concur.
You concur?
I do.
Yeah, so yeah.
That means I agree.
Are you trying to say I did not read Hooked on Phonics?
No, girl.
Let me tell you, in the 6th grade, I was reading on a 9th grade level. So bam,
you want a
boom.
cookie?
Yeah, I do like cookies, actually.
Oh, you don't eat chicken, but you want a cookie.
I mean, as long as they're vegan and from the Whole Food store, thank you, Whole Food store, I will have a cookie.
So they're sitting down, but did you guys see how Leela was looking at Stacey as she was explaining her difference in between of what, you know, her being real and all that kind of stuff like that? Leela was like squinting her eyes.
Oh,
like,
she was squinting?
Like, I don't know if she was like really trying to understand where she was coming from.
Right.
But I was like, Lila, why is you looking at her like that? And her main thing was just like, well, what if I was a different type of chick and you would approach me like that, I would have.
She said we would have ended up in a fight.
Yeah, and she said, and Stacey said, "Oh, you would have tried to beat me up."
And Lila was
said,
like,
"I'm gonna try."
I would have tried.
So you would have beat me up? And I was like, "Lila, really? You gonna do that?"
Lila with her little bitty self, like she looks like she is pint size.
But
like,
that's all in edit. That's all in editing. Who's to say that Lila probably was like, like, yeah, I'm just playing. You know how they love the.
I got you. That's true, and we talked about that. Like when you're talking about reality shows, often you don't know what happens after
or before,
or what the producers are saying in somebody's ear, saying, "Okay, maybe you should say da 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 because I heard she said da 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 da," and you never know where some of the real drama is coming from.
True.
Because of the editing. So that's interesting. But that is a good point because I totally forgot to bring that up because I was like, but I just don't get grown women fighting. Like, I'm too cute to fight. Like, I'm not going to fight. I do not like scratches on my face.
I just think it's for television, honestly, to be honest with you. I don't really think that a lot of these women would have kind of beef like that. Like that little beef between Mo and Michelle A. I was just like, are you
really not watching enough reality television? Because on all of the reality shows, these ladies get it in.
I think what happens is here's what I think what happened.
Orange County.
Well, I was
Atlanta.
Well, I was in Atlanta and I was on a couple of shows, so I do know that producers do say, "Well, hey, talk about this," and they give you have the right, but you can say, "No, I don't want to talk about that." But here's the thing: I think what really happens is,
but then you might not be getting no check.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I get that. So it starts off as just something for the show, but I think over time it does build up, and the cameras does push that for it to be like, okay, now it's a really big deal.
Can you unbutton that button for me? I feel like you're a little tense. Just the top one. Just unbutton that top one for me. Thank you. Yeah,
you trying to see my chest?
Yeah, just a little bit.
How you gonna cut me off like that and talk about?
Okay, go ahead. I was distracted by that button. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I forgot what I was about to say. Nets, what Nets sing?
Cortez, no, you didn't forget.
You just love to see me with my shirt off.
Oh, I do.
Don't you have to
I mean, I was trying to get you in Bray's video. Don't hate. I was trying to get you some more paper.
So Chrisette, Michelle A, and Shantae auditioned for Rich Hipster.
Yes.
At the audition for Rich Hipster.
Yes.
Ashley Dada Ash. Girl, she really can actually sing, to be honest.
You know her?
I know of her. No, I'm not just kidding. I'm just saying. You know how everybody loves to say in LA as well?
Like, I know her. That's my best friend. Like, can you call her? If you were stranded on the side of the road, would she come and pick you up? Probably not. That's not your friend. So word to the wise, if you want to be wise. If you can't call somebody, if you have a flat tire, you need some rent money, or you need some food, if you can't call that person, they're not your friend. If you're not going to their house to have dinner or see, I cook for you, Cortez. What does that mean?
I guess you're my friend, child.
Or whatever. And I wish you would have told me that like spices on your chicken.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
So these are notes for you guys. So that's how you know somebody's your friend in LA. If you can call them.
Rich Hipster.
Audition.
Rich Hipster. Audition.
Ashley
auditions, and Chrisette invites Michelle A and Shantae.
And that was the only scene we saw Shantae in.
No, it was a couple of other
But
things. But
she really didn't say much.
No, I think this episode was more so about Chrisette.
It definitely was about Chrisette, especially because at the end, what happens at the end. Yeah. You're right.
I'm looking forward to really see what her tweets are going to be live. She's tweeting live.
Oh, she's tweeting live?
Today, yeah. So,
that's interesting.
At Chrisette Michelle. But Ashley Dada Ash is what she called her when she introduced her out. She comes out and sings a song that she actually wrote, Best Friend, which I think the words to the song was very, very cool. I actually understand it. I actually been in a situation like that before.
Have you really?
Yeah, like when you like,
best friends with
not
somebody.
know if it's going to work out. You don't know if you should continue.
I know,
but
that's a hard one.
It's like you're my best friend at the same time. It's kind of like,
but I think relationships should start like that.
Of course, but sometimes it can get to a point where if it doesn't, once the intimacy comes in, you can't go back to being a best friend.
Oh, well, that's why I'm the
But that's another show.
Yeah.
So, so Ashley goes up, and Ashley
That's a hard tongue twister. Ashley
used to sing, sings backup for Chrisette Michelle, and I think it's really dope that she actually sung backup for her too.
I think that was dope. That was one of the dopest things. I was like, talk about really laying the foundation for how you would want someone to treat you is what Chrisette did. Because not many stars would sing backup for someone that actually sang backup for them. So I thought that was really dope for Chrisette. Number one, to make her an artist on her label, because a lot of times we get so in this place where we're competing against each other. And I love that Chrisette is trying to, you know, really encourage the younger generation to work at their craft, really.
Right, like she said you have to learn from mother.
Yeah.
And who's better to learn from than mother? So big ups for that. Big ups for Rich Hipster and big up for Chrisette, period, point blank. Oh, I love that woman. Oh, I just love her.
Calm down.
Yeah. Anyways, so then we go on to where? What's the next scene?
The next scene is
Michelle visit Brave.
Yeah. No, wait, you're skipping.
Yeah, because Brave actually didn't make it to the birthday
you're
party.
right. Brave's house.
She was out of town, and Michelle was like, "Okay, let's go over there and talk about the party." It wasn't a party. It was a disaster. But yes.
Well, you know what I learned?
I almost sound like her for real. Why you?
You did. That was actually good. Keep talking like that. Go ahead.
But yeah, so to me, I kind of feel like, you remember, because I asked, I don't know if you guys remember as well, who watched the last review show with Madison and I asked, where was Brave? And you said she was out of town. And I was like, no, the video shoot was in LA, right? Well, so I guess it was in New York.
It was in New York.
I can't be wrong. I'm human, you know.
It happens.
So Brave gets caught up with Michelle. Michelle tells her how awful everything went and how everyone left and how it was not a party and blah, blah, blah. And how she felt like Stacey, who no one knows, made it seem like she was a mediator. And I agree with Michelle.
And you know what? I think it's hard, and we talked about this the last conversation. It's hard being the new girl. So it's like you playing double dutch. You're like, okay, should I get in? Okay, I'm gonna get in this conversation. Oh, well, what about this one? I'm gonna get in this conversation. Like, so you never know if you're listening. I'm pretending like I'm double dutching and I'm trying to get in the conversation and trying to figure out, okay, who's gonna be my friend? And I think she felt like because Little Mo is from the same, they're both from East Coast, they're East Coast girls from the same part of town, that okay, this can be my friend. Or this.
Well, she said she knew her for years because but Michelle did not know that, because at the party Michelle says, I'm sorry to keep going back, but this is just to make a point. Michelle did ask her, well, I don't know you. And she was like, well, why? And then Michelle says, why are you talking and why are you trying to be in the middle? She was like, well, this is my friend. And Michelle goes, oh, really?
Right.
And then she said, for years. They've known each other for years. So I get why Stacey was trying to you know, to try to figure out what's going on and put it all out there at the table, but there's a time and a place for everything. I
totally agree. It shouldn't have been the birthday party.
But at the same time, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do understand when she said, when her, at the beginning of the show, she says to Little Mo and Leela that where she's from, it's all about being real. You know, just putting it out there and moving forward. I get that. And I get that personality from Stacey.
Right.
But I think what they were trying to say was like, you know, me, if it was dudes, I'd just be like, okay, you have your own opinion, whatever the case may be. But I see how women are. It's kind of like, okay, we don't know you. Calm down. Like, hold up.
And I think dudes have a tendency to resolve conflict different than women.
Right then and there.
Yeah. Like women are like, we got to think about it. We got to meditate on it. We got to pray about it. We got to ask 3 of our best friends. Then we got to ask our mama. And then if we talking to some dude that we trying to get, well, we might have to ask him his opinion. So we got to kind of talk it out first to be like, okay, am I the crazy one? And that's what happens.
See, bros, if we do that, we fighting, most definitely.
Really?
There is going to be a fight. There is going to be, if I sit down with my brother and I say, this is how I feel, this is what happened, this is how you made me feel. First of all, that's whack for me to say this. You made me. You hurt my feelings. You hurt my feelings. We're not gonna do that. It was gonna be like, hey, you mad, bro? I'm sorry, man. Boom, boom.
Dap it up.
But if we do not resolve that conflict right then and there, tomorrow we fight at 4 o'clock.
Really? After school. That's what I didn't do. I don't fight.
We are fighting.
No, ma'am. No, sir.
So what happens next?
Yeah, that was
Chrisette's brother Lim. Which I think is a pretty cool cat sometimes.
I think he's dope. No, you know what I saw? No, Cortez, don't put that label on him. Here's why. I'm going to hold your hand. Because, like, I love the fact that they are trying to shed light on what being bipolar is. And typically in our community, in the black community,
Michelle, I said that, yeah.
We do not like to talk about stuff. So it's easy to slap a label on him. It's easy to slap a label on Michelle. But I give them so much credit and to have so much courage to get in the face of hundreds of thousands of people and talk about their issue. And I saw when he was actually doing the photo shoot, of course, Chrisette is going to be more in tune to the girl and know how she poses or what
they connect.
They connect, but it's not. And then you have this distance between you and your brother. So
now, when let me define when I said weird.
Okay.
It's nothing about him being bipolar or anything of that nature. But my thing is like, I think he does not see what others see in him. And I used to be that person as well, that I used to put myself down. I don't feel like I don't have enough support. I don't feel like this. And I used to always be I.
The victim.
And for me to look at him and see that, it's kind of like, dude,
that's me.
Like, yes, that's me.
Yeah.
So my definition of weird is not that same definition of how Tamar Braxton was like, whack is a good thing. No, we already know if we say whack in the Urban Dictionary, that means it's negative.
Right.
So I went back to the Braxtons, I'm sorry, but still. But when I say weird, I meant like in a way to like, bro, come on, like that's, yo, you're talented, you're dope. I can see that you're dope because you want to be, he said that the new age Robin Hood.
And I love that idea. I think it's a dope idea. That is so dope. Like all his pictures, but I think when you're an artist, and Erykah Badu said it best, shout out to E. Badu from my high school, what's up, girl? She said that artists are sensitive about their stuff. So I think him trying to like really be this new artist, and you're underneath the shadows of your big sister who's had a great career. And she's okay, thank you, boo. Okay, having, all right. You know music better than me. But I think it's hard to live in the shadows, number one. And I think he's already super uber sensitive because he's got to compare himself to his sister. And then the pressure of being on your sister's label, and kind of like what you said about dating your best friend. Now you're in business with your sister, and so those are hard conversations to have, you know. And he probably should have had the conversation. Look, when she saw his face, like I would have been sensitive enough to be like, okay, what's wrong? Well, she didn't see it because she was intertwined with,
but Ashley was giving her, as a person who owns something like that and has artists who's trying to bloom them,
right?
That fuels her. If they're doing something and they're happy and they're enjoying it, and that's what she said. It looks like Ashley was enjoying herself. Yeah. Lim, sometimes being an artist, you have to also know what you want.
Yes,
and you have to walk. No one is gonna know what you want unless you voice it and portray it.
The poor agreements.
Exactly. So if she's sitting down, she's observing, because she was sitting down Indian style, looking up like, okay, what is he really going for? Right. But he was really working with Derek Blanks. By the way, I worked with Derek Blanks before. Yeah. I guess I'm a celebrity. Yeah. But anyways. Wait
a minute.
It was amazing to work. I know how amazing it is to work with Derek Blanks. So for the way that the editing put Lim trying to put an effort, I kind of felt like, was he really putting towards an effort? So of course Chrisette is gonna sit back and go, I don't want to jump in because I don't want him to get sit down as a sister, but I'm the boss. I don't know when to jump in and out. So you're right. It's like double dutch.
Yeah, she was playing double dutch with her brother. I think, and when you're the person in front of the camera, I think it's challenging for you to know the balance of giving constructive criticism and feedback. And he seemed like he had it, you know, because he was, like you said, he was talking to Derek Blanks, and he was getting his feedback from Derek. And so I'm sure Chrisette was thinking, man to man, he could instruct him better on how to pose as a man. Because a woman, I couldn't tell no dude like, like what kind of poses. I can't exude that, but I know what you're saying.
Well, I think you could, honestly, because let me tell you why. Because when you go into any situation where you have a vision of something, and you have a vision period of anything, you're able to sit there and say, that's it. You may not be able to say it, but when it's done, that's it. Yeah. Exactly. You know when it happens.
Yeah. Period. And so maybe she could have given him some feedback, because then it was such a huge difference between Lim. You're just watching like, what is he doing? Okay, I don't really get it. The Japanese pants thing, okay, I don't really get it. But then when she saw Ash, she was like, yes, give it to me more. Turn strage. Like she was,
I need a bacon. Right. What she said. I need a bacon. That's what she said.
Oh yeah.
She said she looked like Anita. She was giving her Anita Baker, and instead of saying Anita Baker, she said Anita Bako.
Why couldn't she say Baker? Is that like a?
I mean, it's kind of like saying you look like something.
A new version. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I was confused. I was like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, she could have said that. Okay, man. Oh. Oh, that's an interesting
Yeah, of
perspective.
course.
Yeah.
Because she, like you said, she was
know.
playing double dutch. And just in case you guys are listening, you didn't hear our girl. And
Chanel.
She was saying that she feels as if Chrisette was scared to say something.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we're saying. It's just.
That's true. That's very true.
That's
and the fact that he's bipolar, so if his mood swings, she probably didn't want to see him like whatever that swing could be. She may have not said anything.
But that was her point. Here's the thing. That was I would be frustrated if I would being in her shoes right now with her brother is a very hard situation.
Yeah, it is.
And I do understand her when she's saying that, you know, I need to have a sit down with my brother and make sure that he knows business and pleasure is totally different. Yeah. Friendship is totally different.
Sister, brother.
I still want to be your sister, but I need you to know that I'm your boss. Right. So at that photo shoot, she should have been a boss.
She should have. Yeah, I agree. But you know what? Here's the thing, too. When you're talking about artists who've never had a professional job, potentially, you don't really know what it's like to have a boss. You know what I'm saying? If you've always been an artist and you've never had a job per se where you had a manager or a boss and you got to be on time and you got to check your email and you have to do A, B, C, and D. If you've never had that, to tell somebody all of a sudden I'm your boss, that means nothing to them. Like, you know, being a waitress is one thing for most artists who have to do other jobs. But working in a corporate setting, having a boss, being professional in show business, because it is a business, and most people don't know the business. That's why they get managers, and that's why they get people to help them do the business side of it so that they don't have to really negotiate that. So I think it's a hard task for her to say, yes, I'm your sister, and that really hasn't gone well. That's why they were in therapy trying to figure out that dynamic and that piece. But then you have, on top of that, the business piece of them doing business together. But if you've never had a boss and she's always been your sister, you got to really set those expectations. And here's what that is.
That takes time, though.
I know it does.
That takes time. In every relationship, friendship, brothers and sisters, mother and sister, mother and daughter, whatever, communication is very fundamental in every relationship. And he even said something that would have
pissed you off?
No, he said something that I definitely agree with, was that he was saying that he didn't know that Ashley was going to be there. Ah,
so he felt upstaged.
Yes, and he felt threatened. Yes, so I get that, because if I'm first artist, and Ashley was nowhere to be found, and then all of a sudden Ashley come out done, I'm like, whoa! I thought this was my photo shoot.
I got you.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's true, Chanel.
But also, Chrisette, maybe that was not a what is it meant? A planned or something that was she meant to do. Yeah. Maybe that was not in her mind frame to. I need to tell Lim that Ashley's going to be there. Yeah, and that's Ashley's going to be a part of Rich Hipster, even for that matter, because he didn't even know who Ashley was, or that she was going to be a part of Rich Hipster. Yeah. So I got the frustration for that matter. What I did not like for for Chrisette, I love her. She's a smart individual. She does not like the negativity. She did not hear him. When he said that. Yeah. And that's the whole point of communicating. Like when people, I can't talk over you, you can't talk over me. We can't argue because no one is listening. Exactly. So when she wasn't arguing with him, but she was just trying to get her point across. And when he said that, it just flew over her head. And I was like, Chrisette, that's it. That's it. Mom, Lynette, that's it right there. You missed it. You just have to listen. Yeah.
And you have to, I think he's still in that place. And I was happy that he was able to even vocalize why he was mad. Because you could see it. Yeah, that's a huge step. Because you could see it in his face when he was doing that photo shoot. His face went from like, oh, I'm happy to like, wah, wah, wah. Like, this is not what I intended to happen, or this is not what I expected. Right. So his expectations were not met, especially if he thought, this is me and my sister, we're going to work this out, and this is going to be our thing together, and now here you are. And then, too, there might be a little bit of jealousy because she's probably spent more time with Chrisette. So that competition of having a better relationship, because we could already tell that Chrisette and Lim have a kind of a strained relationship.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. But on with Syleena inviting the girls out for the city for the benefit of the cancer What is it? Breast cancer? Yeah. So she invites the girls out to meet with what city?
City of Hope. It's in LA. I think it's off of, I want to say Hollywood Boulevard. Is that right? Yeah.
Nice.
It is. I know some people.
And everyone shows up but
who? Shantae?
Shantae and Chrisette. Those two people, they just do not like.
I think Chrisette was probably working on Rich Hipster and she was getting that. I mean, if you had to look at possibly what could have potentially been going on. And Shantae, I just don't know what she's doing or if she even really wants to be a part of the show or if this is just a show based on editing with Chrisette because of what happens at the end for Chrisette, possibly. Who knows? Nice. I guess we'll find out.
So in the meantime of them sitting down with City of Hope, I learned a little bit more about how, why Leela is so involved in getting this benefit show going and even doing the song and everything because of her best friend.
Oh,
and
yeah. Oh, you found
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like my mother and my grandmother passed of cancer.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So like to have that and then I didn't even know anything about City of Hope. So Leela James, thank you for that because that like for me that's a big thing for me because now I know that because she even said that you don't have to be connected with having someone that has cancer in order to help. Yeah. And for me to know City of Hope is out there, I didn't even know anything about this. Yeah. So I definitely appreciate that. So kudos for that.
Kudos for that. So Cortez will be doing some volunteer work.
Of course, with my pink shirt on.
Real men wear pink.
You dang on skippy.
So yeah, do we want to talk about? Let's talk about Little Mo and Michelle. So they actually finally sit down and they have a chat, and I just don't know why they couldn't have this chat the first time. Why couldn't they have that conversation the first time? Like I really think that people, not just people of color, but people in general, like we're so into this Insta. We want everything to happen instantly. Instagram. Snapchat, like we want it right there, right then, and we want resolution right then, right there, and it doesn't work like that in the real life. Because I think had they had that conversation in the beginning and really like put down their walls and taken responsibility for it, you know what, you hurt my feelings when I told you I did not want to go out on a date, that I'm still healing, that I'm still working through my stuff, and I don't want to add anybody else to this pot until I figure out what's in my pot by myself. So had Little Mo listened to that, then they wouldn't even be in a situation where they're really mad at each other and harboring these feelings of like you versus let me take responsibility for my part. And I think because this is that was the conversation that they had, like let's pinky swear, and I'm like, why didn't y'all?
I'm kind of on Mo's side on this one because I can see that Lil Mo is she's a grown, sensitive little girl.
Oh, that's a.
And because of that, the reason why I say that is because
sensitive little girl.
So she's a grown ass woman, as she would say. She has kids.
Yeah, she does.
But her heart and what she has gone through with people, dealing with people, has made her a sensitive little girl. She would never admit that. Yeah. But it's just a simple fact that she knows she's sensitive. And when it comes to her friends or her family, you don't mess with that.
Yeah.
And she sees Michelle as a friend.
And a sister.
A sister.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And there's a bond there.
Yeah.
So with saying that, I do agree with her saying that she felt like she can step in as a friend. Madison, if you were to come to me and tell me about some guy and you ask me for my opinion and whatever the case may be, I feel like as a friend, I would want to go out there and find out about this guy on my own. Right, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure that you're going to be okay. I feel like as a friend, I should be able to do that.
Right.
I don't care how much you say, leave him alone, he's okay, But I have my friends, my homies that know him, telling me stuff about him. Right. Sorry, I'm not going to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I feel like as a friend, I should be able to step in. So I felt Mo in that matter. She may not, she thought that her friend was strong enough to go out on a date. Or not even a date. Let's not even call it a date. Yeah. Let's just go hang out and go go-kart riding. Yeah. Period, point blank. So I kind of felt Mo in that area. Right. I just did not like. And I'm very big on communication. I just did not like the way Michelle handled that.
Yeah.
I was asleep.
Yeah, I was asleep. And I think her being,
I was asleep.
Her being so dismissive, and then her apology was just really kind of like, I was asleep. Like there was nothing else in there. But I think she was still harboring the idea and the feeling like, you didn't hear me. I said I didn't want to go. So I'm gonna let you know I didn't want to go by not showing up. I'm not gonna answer your phone call.
And that's rude.
No, I totally agree that that's rude. And I think having someone that is your friend wait for hours and hours, especially when I think because Michelle A has historically been late, that Little Mo was kind of like, okay, she's gonna still come.
That probably was the icing on the cake. Though.
And that was the
for her
icing
to not show up. That was the icing on the cake for like, oh no. And I think that you asked why could they not have that conversation at first. That's why, because Mo was still in her feelings.
Yep.
She had to realize, okay, like, do I really want Michelle A as my friend, and do I want to continue this? Is this a sisterhood? Like, she was asking her all these questions because when you've been hurt by so many people, my God, it's gonna take. It takes writing a letter. It takes. It's gonna take asking different. Exactly, it's gonna take that because you need to realize, okay, is this person in my life for better or for what?
Yeah.
Like, I just need to know, was this a lesson for me, God, or was this like I need to move on because I'm not gonna continue to be hurt by one person, the same person.
Right. Yeah, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So I think with the pinky swear, they decided this is going to be a lifetime because they kind of like threw Stacey, Lil Mo kind of threw her underneath the bus, just kind of like, no, it's gonna be me and you, and we Thelma and Louise, and we Bert and Ernie, we Elmo and Fred.
You went on.
I went all the way back to the Bears.
All the duets. Whitney and Bobby. And speaking of Whitney and Bobby, let's go back. Let's go back though.
I love me some
speaking of Whitney and Bobby, Stacey invites Brave and Mo out for lunch to discuss.
We hadn't even talked about that. I might have to take my jacket. I'm starting to get a little warm.
They go out for lunch to discuss that. And
did they eat some food?
No, they never do anything.
Okay.
They just go out to these restaurants to let us know that what restaurants are in LA.
Okay, it's like a free commercial, right?
Pretty much.
I love me some Crave.
Pretty much. I think the only show I ever seen them actually eat or drink is like hip hop, Love and Hip Hop, or something like that.
Yeah,
or X's. I've seen them do like at the S's, Atlanta S's, but I've just noticed that R&B divas, they don't drink or eat.
I mean, at least get some tea.
They just go out and sit down and talk and then get up and leave. So they sit down. Stacey brings up the situation about the party first and her defense of why she was trying to get it out and she was not, she felt as if she was not being a mediator.
Right.
On the outside looking in, you were actually being a mediator, but just you may not title it that way, and in your mind, you may not have had it that way, but it was coming off as a mediator.
Yeah.
So, yes.
And I think she had good intentions. Like, if somebody is your friend, like you said, like, if I told you, hey, Cortez, I'm talking to this dude, and you knew somebody that knew him, you'd be like, yes, that dude got 15 baby mamas in 15 different states. You'd be like, Madison, no, probably. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It might hurt your feelings, because I'm like, oh, my God, he's a prince. He wants me. Did you see that we're going on a trip to the California Island?
A nigga might change. But still, he may have changed, but still, like, it's just, I would want to double check. But at the same time, I just felt like, for me, being a person that's the second episode of seeing Stacey, I was like, I felt like it was strong. But when she came back and told us in the beginning of this episode that where she's from, how she is, I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll on back a little bit. I'm gonna get up off Stacey.
Cortez's body rolling.
I'm gonna get up off of Stacey.
He's adding a tick to the role.
But so I get that, but at the same time, it's like, I feel Leela. She was like, we don't know you. She didn't know you.
Yeah. But I do think it's a cultural thing. Like, New Yorkers, I'd rather you tell me the truth to my face instead of whisper behind my back like you got my back, but you got a knife in my back. Like,
but it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
No, I agree. But also you have to take into consideration New Yorkers are very upfront. Like, I appreciate that. I'm a little sensitive because I'm from Texas, but I'm saying I'd rather you tell me to my face what your truth is versus you kind of pretending like that's your truth, being from like another coast where people tend to we like to be politically correct because we don't want to offend anybody because we don't know what our ulterior motives are, and we don't really want to piss you off because we don't know you might be a star tomorrow, so let me just be nice to you and not really say what I really want to say, but that's not really your truth. So I'm saying that to say, not taking up for Stacey, but I think it is a cultural thing where East Coasters, they come in hard. If you know anybody from the East Coast, Chicago,
I do. I mean,
like they don't play. You don't have to second guess it.
I get that. I'm not saying that Stacey was wrong for her to try to figure out between two friends or whatever, because she's a friend of one of those people.
Exactly.
I just think that what she was asking and the tone, especially when at the first greet and meet of people, it's kind of like, oh,
who are you?
So I think she did learn her lesson, because Lil Mo did tell her, and she did tell Michelle that, okay, I did, talk to my friend about that, and she says, oh wow, I didn't mean it that way, blah blah blah. But then she go and do it again.
When she do it again?
At the end.
Oh, at the
I was like, girl, I had this much, like, I was like, Stacey. So what I'm gonna need for Stacey, I'm gonna need for her to just come on and sit beside me on this show next week and say, let me tell you about me. I need her to poke me and be like, let me tell you about me, boo.
Whoa.
One of those. I need one of those.
That felt good, Cortez.
You know?
Do it again. Poke me again.
I need her to tell me about herself, because I have never been to New York.
Oh, see, that's it though. Yeah, that's
right.
it.
I've never been to New York.
I've been to New York and I appreciate it.
Where I'm from Frankfurt, Germany. People in Germany, first of all, Dutch is a very direct.
You said
is a
Europe.
very
I mean, we talking about a whole other world.
Right. So, but let me tell you this. You just said that the East Coast, and especially New York, are very direct and upfront people, and they're real.
Right.
Have you ever heard someone even speak Dutch? That is it's a very aggressive
I could imagine,
language. They're very just at you.
Germans sound like that. Russians.
I'm used to that, but at the same time, my thing in my mind is like, I'm not going to think about where you're from, because I have traveled all over the country.
Right.
So I'm not going to first think about where you're from. I'm going to think about who you are. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know you, but you coming at me a little
strong.
Right. I'm going to need you to fall back a little bit. But now it's just like, I was like, okay, Stacey, I understood her. Got it. First scene of the episode, this episode, I'm rocking with Stacey.
You're like, you were rocking?
Yeah, because the first episode that I saw of Stacey was her getting up there and singing happy birthday before everyone. And I was like, girl, did she even know that they were going to say happy birthday? Like, what?
Well, you know what? I think that was all in the producers. They probably were like, okay, Stacey, now when you get up to accept your award,
sing happy birthday.
Sing that happy birthday song.
And she probably didn't even know. Okay, I get that.
Hit all them octaves,
I
Stacey.
get that.
You know how you did on The Voice? Mm-hmm. Do all of that, Stacey. Do it like 15 times and do acrobatics with your voice. Do that. Okay, yeah.
Oh, they like me. I do it.
Right, yeah.
So I get that. So, but I mean, she was trying to explain to Brave, because Brave was not there. Brave brought it up to her that, okay, well, I heard that you were trying to take over you and you.
Right.
So I get that. So, but then they went to go on and talk about something that was very serious to Stacey, which really bothered me as well, because I didn't know. And my main question that kept popping up in my head is, how does she know that it was one of the girls?
And that's one of the questions I said, because I think when you're in this place and you're the person that has, she's the person that had to experience all of the breakdown of Simon Cowell and the whole show, and that was her experiencing that. So then to have to go through it again, because whoever did it, however they did it, if it was a producer, if it was, who knows?
So basically, guys who does not know, when I said that it was something that's what we're talking about is basically Stacey actually being there at that moment. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this clip of
Whitney Houston,
Ray and J. Kelly Price on stage before, they were out in the nightclub, right, or something like that.
I think Kelly Price
was the last person to be on stage with Whitney Houston.
Yes.
At Clive
Davis's party.
And basically Whitney Houston comes off stage and she was with Ray J, and Ray J and Whitney were together, something of that nature. It turns out to be, it seems that Whitney Houston ended up slapping or cutting or...
And I don't even think that's true. I think what
that
happened...
was like blood on the leg.
And it was an alleged slap, and there was blood on her leg, but I don't know how it actually happened, and I adore Whitney Houston, so I don't know. I'm not going to speak...
Well, no. We have to give our viewers, and listeners, because I don't want to just say Stacey, was really hurt about this. What happened? I want them to know what happened, because a lot of people don't know what happened.
So I think what else happened was Whitney Houston and Ray J I'm assuming they're friends, and so Ray J and Stacey are friends. So Stacey and Ray J were together, and I think Whitney was kind of like, who is this chick? I don't know her. And Stacey was like, you're my idol, Whitney. Hey, hi. I'm in the same room as Whitney. And so if somebody that you adore gives you some shade, you like...
Yeah, you're heartbroken.
You're heartbroken.
I get that. So she also had to face that, plus facing the fact that media put out that this woman, that she forced Whitney Houston to slap her. Like, Whitney Houston can't do no wrong.
Right, right.
Like, I don't care. That's just like Obama slapping somebody and they say, they forced, that person forced Obama to slap him.
Right.
No, she's human.
Right, right.
But I think for me, I saw the sensitiveness that she had about the situation, because I felt like she had to bring it back up, and she doesn't want to be known
for that
as a person who's now not with us, forced to slap her.
Yeah,
that's why I did not like what Chrisette said.
Yeah, that was it was a low blow, and for her to be this person of positivity and light and love it was disappointing. I'm like, really, Chrisette? Come on, like. What happened? And the fact that and I did find out for sure that, from talking to Chanel, Stacey Francis actually called in to the show that I did before this with Chanel.
Not mad at me.
And she was kind of like, no, I talked to the producers, and the producers said that Chrisette is no longer on the show because Stacey Francis was added as one of the cast members. Until
Chrisette tweets that or comes to me and say,
okay.
I can't deal, because I can't deal with Stacey. I'm not going to be on this show. I don't think that and we both said this, I don't think that she would allow Rich Hipster to lose that many views or that interest over someone who she feel that is not a diva.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna believe that. I've been on episodes with Real Housewives of Atlanta where I've seen producers do some shady stuff.
Yeah.
So I do get that. And I'm not saying that Stacey's lying. I'm saying that the producer may be lying to her.
I got you.
I'm not saying that the producer did not call her. A producer
Yeah.
called her and may have said, yeah, she left because of you. No, the Chrisette, no, baby. That's Maybach music. Come on, Britt. Come on, boo.
The way that Stacey is feeling. Like,
Yes.
how she felt like she needed to vindicate herself.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
But for that woman to sit there and cry about the situation like that, I will be torn about that.
Yeah.
And the first thing I would think about is my kids as well.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I felt Little Mo, when she was talking about it and she was crying, I felt Little Mo like really going into like, oh gosh, like I can't believe, because she's sensitive. That she told you she'll cry at the drop of a dime.
Right.
Especially Little Mo, you can't cry around Little Mo. She gonna cry.
Yeah,
She's a
she
sensitive,
is.
grown
Me too.
ass sensitive little girl. Period, point blank.
I love it. So I think we're at the end. So
well, we kind of jump back because the next thing happens is when we already talked about how Michelle A and Mo sat down, they beefed it out and all that kind of stuff.
and
But
Pinky
then
squared, and now they're good. Thelma and Louise. Yes, I love it. I'm glad they reunited and they're back together, and I hope that they're more open to really getting to know Stacey Francis and getting to know her, because that's got to be a terrible thing to.
But let me say this: I did say that I was going for Stacey, and then at the end she, kind of like
she poked a little bit.
Yeah, she poked me a little bit again, because after Chrisette Michelle's showcase for Ashley and supposedly Lim as well, I hate you could not be there as well, brother.
Too, Lim. I want to hear him sing, because he's super talented.
Yeah, and I was so ecstatic to see Chrisette Michelle sing. And I just think that was amazing that she was singing background for Ashley as well.
I know.
That was
so
dope. God, I love this woman.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically at the end of her show, I'm going to wrap this up a little bit. At the end of her show, they go and sit down with the girls, and Chrisette is drinking a beer, by the way. And like all willy-nilly, like, yeah, I'm drinking a beer. But yeah, so Stacey jumps in again and be like, I hope you didn't think I was trying to be nasty to you, because I really wasn't. And da-da-da-da-da. It's just like, but the way you said it, Stacey, it was like, ugh.
I think that's, again, it's that East Coast, like, I'm going to be direct, and sometimes
But then your friend Michelle A just told you
really?
that.
Are you getting crunk, Cortez?
Like, come on.
I
I had just said that. I was just like, in one episode, Mo said that she had already told her friend about you know, they don't know you. You can't, you know, come. And she
come
said,
hard.
she said that. Stacey said she agrees and okay.
Right.
So why do that again? So that's why I was like,
yeah, but I think probably underneath that all, in Stacey's defense, underneath that all is Chrisette the person that brought up this nonsense about Whitney Houston again?
we don't know that.
No, I know, but I'm saying they're both.
And she doesn't know that, so she shouldn't even brought that.
No, I mean, I agree with you, but I'm saying underneath that could have been why she came at her like that. Like, do you really have a problem with me? Like, she probably really wanted to say, did you sell the story to the tabloids? That's probably what she really wanted to say. But instead of saying that, she was trying to be softer and said, hey, you know, I didn't mean to offend you the first time. And so do you have a problem with me? And I get that you need to, you know, if you've had a problem with someone, you need to, you know, kind of be more sensitive to how you approach.
Not necessarily sensitive as well. I mean, of course, a little bit of sentimental there, but not across the table with 3 or 4 other people there. I'm never going to approach Alexis in front of you and Madison. I'm never going to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I got
and especially across the table like this. Like, you got a problem with me? Did you think I got I was like, what? I would have been like, hold on. So I get, and then Chrisette does not like negativity, and she says that Stacey brings negativity.
Confrontation.
So she was like, you know what? I see where this is going, because I would have snapped on you. If I was in a place that I should not be, I would have snapped on you. That's what I was getting from Chrisette. So I see her leaving, or whatever the case may be. But before she leaves the table, she announces to the girls that she's going to be bi-coastal. Right. But I don't think she's going to be bi-coastal.
Oh, well, I hope that's not the case.
I really, I think she is going to be kind of bi-coastal, but I think she's still going to be in LA mostly, because I mean, she has a house here.
Yeah, she has a nice house. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And her Porsche's here. Her red Porsche's here. Like, come on.
We need to see that.
We need to see her driving away.
Right.
I need to see that, boo. I need to see that.
I love it. So, predictions for the next show?
Well, every time I hear this, I think about Erykah Badu CD.
I love it.
Underground. We're right underground.
I don't know that one.
It's the one, her ever cover with the afro on. And then,
yes, Badu. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? So, what's your prediction, boo?
My predictions, I'm hoping, this is wishful thinking, that Chrisette is not leaving. We do see, I want Brave to be more embraced by the women, you know, because she is kind of like the new generation, the new artist. And, you know, I think we need to go away from that place where we're constantly competing against each other and embracing the younger generation and mentoring. Because if you look at people like Oprah, the reason why Oprah is because she's helped a lot of people get what they want. Dr. Oz, Susie Orman, Dr. Phil, like, she's helped tons of people, you know. Now, mind you, they're not in direct competition with her, but still.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, pay it forward. So I hope that we see a little bit more of that. And I hope Brave really finds her own lane, you know, because she is super sexy. But I think if you dig deeper than the sexiness.
She just look like one color to me.
Cortez.
She just look yellow. Like, I just dye the hair back brown or something. Girl, you are beautiful. But just
Did you say beautiful?
You is beautiful. But at that red carpet, you like one color. It's like a color was wearing a dress.
Brave, I think you're beautiful.
I think you're beautiful too. But I mean,
no, I know she is kind of like mono because her hair and her skin, and then when you wear.
And don't say I'm wrong. Don't y'all start commenting like, oh, he wrong. I can't believe he said that. She probably looked in the mirror now and said, oh, I do. She probably watching the show now and probably said, oh, I'm going green. You know, something. She probably gonna try her best now to look different in different areas. But no, yeah. So,
those are my predictions.
So are you predicting that Brave is going to be more involved, or are you just saying you want that?
I want that. Yeah, I mean, that's not my predictions. That's what I would want to see on R&B Divas LA.
Well, I predict that Brave is about to be a person that we're going to see more often and see a different side of Brave, of her, because Stacey coming for her.
You think Stacey's coming for Brave?
Stacey came for Brave the first time she sat at that table at Jesse Jackson's birthday.
How
she said, and who are you? What's your name? She says, Brave. And she said, oh, because you brave?
Oh, okay, Cortez. Yeah, all right.
Like, come on. And then for now, like, we kind of get a glimpse of them in the studio. And Brave says, oh, okay, you coming for me, but I'm gonna come for you later.
Oh gosh, okay, so that's the predictions. So you guys on
Baltimore
YouTube,
and the Brooklyn coming.
Baltimore boom, boom. So let's think. So all our listeners on YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV.
Yes, most definitely. Well, thank you for Dale T.
Dale T, hey.
For commenting. He said he disagrees on our thoughts about Chrisette from the last show.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that. Thank you to most definitely Love 21 for Life.
21 for Life.
They said to us that they miss Meg and Bam. But glad that we're here. I told you guys, give us a chance.
That you were here because you was chocolate. And I'm like, what? Wow.
Yeah, and thanks for the compliment. I'm gonna read this compliment. He says, I do miss Bam and Meg Scoop, but Cortez is some fine chocolate. God bless that man. Yes, Cortez. Wow.
Really?
German chocolate, boo.
Yo,
all right.
Gosh.
Just read my book. One, thank you for commenting. Michael Sam Jr., you had a really good opinion there, so that was really, really dope.
Okay.
Shanika 08. Oh, he's at a 0. When Stacey stood up, Shantae said, you should be a diva. I don't see where the shade was in there.
I agree with her. I totally agree with her because I'm like, I don't think she was being shady at all. So maybe that was part of the writing. I don't know. I didn't agree.
Diva 1675. Historically, diva was a term for opera singers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Totally. So this is why I love people who come in, man, because they not only if they're gonna say something negative, it's something that we need to hear.
Yeah.
And other people need to hear because everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So just like I think Brave look like one color, that's my opinion. Just kidding, guys.
So thank you guys for listening on iTunes, and thank you if you are tweeting us. I am your girl, Madison Chase Fitness, your trainer for the stars and the star in you, and a voice of virginity. And you can find me at Madison Chase Fit on Twitter and Instagram, Madison Chase Fitness.
She did say virginity.
I did.
Because I saw the last review show and I was like, did she say face of virginity?
Yes,
she did.
Voice.
Voice of virginity, yes.
Oh.
Well, you can find me on all social media as Cortez G West, Facebook to Twitter and Instagram and all of that good stuff. I don't believe in fans or followers. I believe in supporters. You support me, I support you. Support AfterBuzz TV. Follow us on iTunes. Rate us 5, please. Give us comments because that helps us out. Big ups to our girl, our engineer, Alexis. Boom, 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 ba-dow. And thank you for our guests over here looking all good. So that was the voice you guys heard in the background. Let's have her on the show next week.
Yeah, we're
just sit down with us. And then I'm going to get on her show next week. How about that? While she playing up in here.
Devo.
See?
We got divas and we have
Devos.
There you go. Devo.
You got to wear your...
Stop looking at my buttons.
I mean, I'm just saying. The crown.
There you go. Yeah. So guess us next week, guys, on another sit-down review show of R&B Diva LA.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.